So I just got back from the Garfield movie premiere here in LA, and I've got to say, I brought my daughters, and they absolutely loved this movie. I watched their faces throughout. They were smiling. There was one moment, two moments where they were tearing up a little bit. They were on the edge of their seat. They were looking at me back and forth like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is where this is going. They really, really enjoyed this movie. So I really want to preface this review with that. Now, I've got to say, for me personally, I feel like this movie fits in the category more of a kid's movie instead of a family movie. Like recently we saw If movie. I loved it. I was crying. I was so invested, and so were my girls, and that felt like a family movie. This to me was really like, I was like, oh, it's cute, it's fun, it's silly. There's a couple moments I chuckled. I never like laughed out loud, although they did. And I was like, all right, the story's fine. Like, I wasn't mad at it. But with If, I was so invested and I absolutely loved it. My daughters absolutely loved this. So I want to put this out there for parents. This definitely feels like more of a movie for the children versus for the entire family as a whole. That's not to say it's not entertaining, because it is. That's just kind of my personal opinion on it. Now, I will say the animation is gorgeous. This movie is stunning. It's beautiful. All throughout, the way the fur looks, especially when it moves as they're doing certain action sequences. There is a moment where they combine a different style of animation. I love when they do that. It's when they're telling a story, a plan. They're planning this heist, and they use this different animation to go through that. And I love that. I think that's very smart. I think it kind of adds a little bit of diversity and uniqueness to the movie, and kind of like allows you to think like, oh yeah, this is them planning. You know, just like in live action, they would like maybe draw it out on a piece of paper. So I really enjoyed that they did that, and I thought it was fun. The heist was fun. It was entertaining. There's this action sequence that comes in the third act, and I don't want to say I don't want to say it's not necessary, because it is important for certain parts of the story, but I felt like it was a little too long. I felt like we had kind of wrapped things up, and then now we add this other sequence, and I get why it's there. I do. I just think it was a little bit too long and unnecessary. But, you know, if it had been a little bit shorter, I wouldn't have been as upset by it. I just felt like we kind of were wrapping things up and we were good to go, and then they added this. Lots of fun little things towards the end. There is a Nermal cameo, which I love Nermal, so I was very, very excited for that. That made me very happy. It's towards the end. Keep your eyes peeled because it's very, very quick. But a lot of people wanted to know what I thought of Chris Pratt. I think, listen, Chris Pratt, big fan. Chris Pratt, big fan. So take that what you will. I think Chris Pratt was fine as Garfield. I think he was good. He's using his regular voice. And maybe it feels a little weird at first, but it actually works out. I was never like, that's not Garfield. I thought he was good. I thought he was entertaining enough, being this cat that everyone loves, this lasagna-eating cat, which, by the way, he's more Italian in this, right? There's pizza involved. Pizza's actually like number one besides lasagna on his list, it feels like, which I was a little annoyed by. I was like, this cat loves lasagna first, guys. Come on. But it's Italian overall, right? Breadsticks, pizza, meatballs, stuff like that. Listen, Nicholas Hoult as John. I love Nicholas Hoult. John's not in it a lot, and I wish there had been a little bit more of him, but I get that this is Garfield's story. Odie was great. Odie was a lot of fun, a great sidekick, of course. I really enjoyed Garfield and Odie together, and this is really the story of Vic, Garfield's dad. If you've seen the trailer, you know. We have Garfield's dad come in. Garfield's dad had abandoned him. They are forced to work together because the evil cat Jinx, who's voiced by Hannah Waddingham, who made a great villain, by the way, great villain, forces them to work together in this heist, yada, yada. I don't want to give too much away, but I liked Samuel L. Jackson plays Vic, Garfield's dad. He was good. He was great. But I really liked Odie and Garfield. They were fun. But Samuel L. Jackson, he does bring the emotional moments, right? There's some emotional moments, of course. It's his dad who abandoned him as a baby. There's going to be some emotion there. And there was. And I think it played out really, really well. Those were definitely some of the moments. That's when my daughters were tearing up a little bit. And I felt it in my heart a little bit. I felt it. So I enjoyed that story. I thought it was cute. I think again, there's some funny moments. There's all this stuff with a cow and a bull, and I enjoyed it, although it felt a little out of place. I thought it was funny. It was entertaining. It brought in some of the stuff. There's one point where they play like Let's Get It On, which I thought was maybe a little much for something I'd consider a kid's movie. But it is what it is. I mean, they insinuate stuff, and I was like, okay, yeah, this is more kids movie than a family movie to me. I don't think that part was necessary. I think they could have done without that. But, it is what what it is, I guess. We had fun with it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was cute. Again, I thought Chris Pratt was great. It was a cute story overall. It's funny. It's emotional. My kids absolutely loved it. So I definitely stick it in the category of this is more for kids than families as a whole. Adults might not be completely entertained, edge of their seat all the way through this film, so be warned. But I love Garfield, so I was excited to see him come to screen in another way. And really, I had a good time. I had fun. It was cute. It was cute. And my kids really loved it. So you guys let me know if you're excited for Garfield, which hits theaters this Friday, May 24th. Let me know if you're excited down below in the comments. If by the time you got to this review, you've already seen it, let me know what you thought. Be sure to give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on more videos like this one. Follow me over on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and you guys can check me out at MamasGeeky.com. Thanks. I'll see you next time.